Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
Where I'm getting confused every time.
Okay.
Hey Neha, good evening.
Hi, Uday.
Yeah, hi. Neha, did we have any session on Saturday or Sunday? Because I missed the classes.
No,
Yeah.
we don't have, just once I tried to have class, but no one, showed up. So it's only on weekdays.
Yeah. And during the weekend, right, I tried to see if they uploaded the session for the Friday's, session, but I have not yet seen the video because I missed it.
Oh, there was no class on Saturday and Sunday.
No, Neha, this is for Friday. I missed the class on Friday, and I did not see anything uploaded on the portal.
You should be able to see it now. I think Friday class usually it takes a day, so Saturday and Sunday are off. So I think they should have done it today.
Okay.
So today we'll be seeing examples on the mapping, the one-to-many mapping or many-to-one, So even I haven't sent any code regarding Hibernate. So after today's class, I'll be sending the Hibernate project that we did. So if you didn't receive any Hibernate material, don't wonder. So I haven't sent it yet.
Yeah, okay.
So we have discussed about different associations. So what are associations in general? What is the mapping? Any one of you, what is the mapping?
We have one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many.
It's a relationship between two different entities,
Yeah.
right? That's what we have, right? Let's say I have an employee and employee has many appointments. Okay, so in the database, let's say I have a table employee. This is a normal fat employee table which we have discussed in the previous class. And we have a table appointment wherein the employee ID in this table refers to the ID in the employee table, the specific employee ID. So an employee can have multiple appointments. Okay, an employee can have multiple appointments, so which we are writing here. So what is the mapping or the relationship from employee to appointment for?
Too many.
It's one-to-many. An employee has many appointments, right?
One-to-one.
So when we do that, first we have to do the mapping for appointment, right? So it's a here one more. Forget about this. I'm going to discuss this mapping also many-to-one. First, we have to do the mapping for appointment. Okay, and in the employee mapping, right? An employee has many appointments. So how do we store many appointments in Java? If I have many appointments, folks, how do I store it in Java?
Use array.
Any collection. Right? You can use array also. So here I'm using set, which is appointment set, and the mapping for the employee. I'm using the set because I'm using the set. I'm using the set here. The name is appointment set. Folks, follow very carefully. The name is always the variable name. And what is the key column in the appointment that associates with the employee? It's the employee ID. And the relationship is one-to-many. And we are specifying the class name. It's appointment class. So we are making a one-to-many relationship from employee to appointments. So we have to specify the column which is binded with employee, it's employee ID, and the class, it's the appointment class. So we're using a set which says one-to-many. And folks, there is something called as a cascade equals to all here, right? So folks, there are different options for cascade, save or update, delete, all. Basically, how does the relationship, let's say, if I say cascade is equal to none, right? When I save the parent, the children doesn't get saved. When I say cascade is equal to none, when I save the parent, let's say when I save an employee, the appointment doesn't get saved. But when I say cascade is equal to save or update, I'm saying when we save the parents, save the childs also. That is the purpose of cascade attribute. And this is how we are specifying one-to-many. And depending on the business rules, we specify, the cascade is equal to all, or, we want to save children also, then we save the parents, or we don't want to do any cascading. It's all, how the data is driven as for these entities.
So, can you repeat that cascade one? So here you have employee as a parent, right? And appointment as a child.
Yes.
So if you say cascade is equal to none, that means
there is.
Changing.
If we save the parent, the children doesn't get saved.
Save means where? In database?
Yes, when we say dot save of employee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here, let's say when I say dot save of employee, it doesn't save. If I say employee dot set appointment, right?
Okay.
The appointment doesn't get saved.
Okay. So other question is, you say set. You were saving appointments in a set. So it's always a set, or
you can use different collection. If you use list here, right? We have discussed the collections in the previous classes, like different kind of collections. When you use list, here in the mapping file also we use list, Manoj. Here,
okay,
we have set, we have list also. So if we are using a list here, we have to use the list tag here as well.
So it's always the interface, or you can use array list here.
No, we can use hash set also. Like for the set implementations, it's going to be set. So we have in the, I think, second PDF, the mapping, how they work with set, it's set, hash set also it's set. And if I try to get employee, right, I'm going to get the associations or, the appointments that are created for the employee. So folks, you're clear with this mapping, and I have created a set because employee should hold, the employee object should hold many appointments.
Neha, I want to see the database thing for this. How is the table created?
It's two different tables. You have an employee table with the employee ID, first name, last name, and salary. And you have the appointment table that has like the columns that you see here, ID, employee ID. This employee ID is different to the ID of employee table.
But we don't have any reference from employee table to appointment. If I see the where we have created the table, I cannot see any.
There should be a foreign key constraint from the employee ID of appointment table to ID of the employee table. That's how we maintain data integrity. It works even without that, but it's always advisable to have a foreign key constraint.
Okay, so we mentioned the foreign key in that.
We have to specify the foreign key, Rajesh.
Okay, can you show me that the content of the employee table once again, please?
This is the employee table, and this is the appointment table.
What is this last line? Indian INNO photos.
I mean, it's specific. There are different kind of database engines. I think it's specific to the database engine.
Okay, so we need not to bother about it.
I mean, when we create it, we don't need to specify the. We don't directly need to specify the engine type.
Okay. Okay.
Did you ever try creating tables in your local machine, Rajesh?
No, I have not.
Do you have MySQL set up?
No, I actually got one this weekend, and I'll try it.
Okay, no worries. Just try doing. We understand it better when we do it. We just see the create code, and we have to understand it, and then we have to put our hands on, because it's like the end of Hibernate. So I'm just wondering.
Okay, this is my second class, Neha. The last one was I am wondering. I need to coordinate.
Okay, Rajesh, please go through the recorded classes. I think that might help you better actually. If you install the MySQL, right? So there are already some tables that are created in these, some default databases you will get it. And there are some tables that are also separated. Not only for Rajesh folks, every one of you, please install MySQL, and you have some, databases that come by default. I think the World and Chess and Tequila databases come by default. So when you try to go through it, and you can say right click, send to SQL editor as create, and you can see the create statements, and you can understand them, and thereby create your own tables, Rajesh.
Okay.
So folks, everyone understood this mapping, this one-to-many mapping?
In the HBM file, there is another parameter inverse.
Yes, Venkat, I'm going to discuss it.
Okay.
No, can you just go through it again, quickly, once again?
What is your doubt?
I don't have any specific doubt. Like, if you can just go, just go through quickly what all you said, that would be really helpful.
See, we are discussing about the one-to-many relationship. Let's say we have employers, and for an employee, there can be multiple appointments that will be created. So, an employee to appointment relation is one-to-many. So, an employee should have many appointments. So, we have kept a set in the employee object which can hold multiple appointments. And in the HBM file, we are mapping that set, saying the name of the property is appointment set, and the key is, the column is employee ID. So in the appointment table, we have a column employee ID, and the relationship is one-to-many. We are doing from employee to appointments. It's one-to-many, and the class to which it's mapped is appointment. So that's how we are mapping it. So when we do that, when we fetch the employee, we get the appointments also associated with the employee. So here, folks, we have already discussed the query and we're doing one more time. In the HQL, we operate on the Java classes and not on database tables. That's what we call it as Hibernate query language. So I'm selecting, and when I get the employee, right? Employee object, I get the appointment set also with them. So if you see in the database, the appointments, we have 2 appointments that are created for employee ID 3, and there are no appointments for any other employees, right? So when I try to fetch it, it gets the employee details and it gets the appointments that are specific. So what am I doing? The employees that I get, I'm printing the employee ID along with the size. So the employee ID 3 has 2 appointments and the employee ID 4 has no appointment. So because of this one-to-many relationship, if you want to get the employee or any object, the related entities, that will come automatically. Automatically means we can access the association. And there's one more thing, folks. There is something called as a lazy loading in Hibernate. Lazy loading is basically when we say lazy is equal to true, when we want to load the data lazily. So when we fetch the parents, the children are not fetched when we fetch the parents. Folks, please listen very carefully. These are very important things. The children are not fetched when we fetch the parents. They are fetched when we try to access the appointments. So when I say query.list, I'm not fetching the appointments for the employees. But if lazy is equal to true. But I fetch the appointments, or the Hibernate fetches the appointments when we say employee.getAppointment fetch. So folks, there is an option for us. I don't know if I told you. There is something called as a show SQL in Hibernate. If I say show SQL is equal to true, whatever the queries the Hibernate is internally executing, we will be able to see the queries here. You know, employee ID is doing salary from employee, right? And then it's doing select on from the next table. So when we say show SQL is equal to true, what are the queries that are getting fired against the database? We will be able to see these queries here. Folks, you understand what is lazy loading?
You said about lazy loading. Where you say,
yes.
We need to set true.
I'm sorry? Here in the HVM file, we can specify lazy is equal to true.
Yeah, actually, like while I was working with, they used to load the lazy loader or something while testing. I didn't.
Not needed. See, this is what the attribute we have to specify, and this is what which controls the association. If the association has to be handled lazily or not.
What's the difference between cascade and
lazy is just used for loading the data. It doesn't control if I want to delete the children when the parents are deleted. If I want to save the children when the parents are saved, it doesn't control that, Manoj. You understand?
Okay.
Lazy is just for loading of the data. Do you want to load the children when we load the parents itself? Or do you want to load the children when we access the association, when we when we try to use them or when we try to get them? Either when you want to load the children or you want to load the children as soon as you load the parents. That is what this attribute controls. But cascade control save or delete everything. This is just for loading of the data.
Okay, what is the purpose of it? Like, if you do lazy loading, does it
depends. See, if you are just populating a parents in the case of a drop down, if you waste time or spend time in loading all the children also, it's a performance set, right? So it depends on how how the loaded parents or children you are using actually.
Where does this come into picture? Is it in testing or development or anything like that? And
it's in production also. How you want to load the data? That is what it controls. This has nothing to do with the development or testing or production. It is how it affects performance. Let's say I have 100 employees that I'm loading in a drop down or in a session box. If I load all the appointments for them, it's going to take time, right? In a specific example, we say lazy is equal to true, so that we don't want to fetch the children as soon as we fetch the parents, because the loading of the employees itself is going to take so much of time. Instead, when someone selects a specific employee and want to view the employee appointments, right, therein when we make a database query and fetch the data. So we fetch the data, we fetch the children whenever someone accesses the association, instead of loading the children when we load the parents itself.
Okay, there is no breaking of dependencies or anything like that.
Could you please be a little bit loud? I can barely hear you.
Okay, sorry. There is no breaking of dependencies to make the data. What do you call?
There is nothing called as a breaking of dependency. It's the timing where you want to load the children.
Okay.
The attribute suggests the timing where you want to load the children. When you want to load the children, I'm sorry.
Okay, when you want to load the children. And can you just go back to the get employee Java? Over here, you've given that method employee.getAppSet.size.
See, if I want to get the appointment set, I say get appointment set. I'm just trying to get the size of it. So I just called the dot size.
Is that a good coding? What do you call? Do we have to follow that? If one of them returns a null value, then the whole thing gets returns a null point.
They don't return null value. They return empty set. If we don't have any appointment, it returns empty set. If you see the second employee, the employee ID with 4 doesn't have any appointment. It doesn't return null. It returns an empty set.
Okay.
So everyone understood the one-to-many mapping.
Neha, if I want to apply some criteria over here, like we have a query for employee and we got employee set, just for the understanding sake, if I want to put some criteria on this, whatever we got fetched from the query, how shall we do it? Can you give some small example?
We have seen the criteria example in the previous class, right?
Yes.
We have seen the criteria example in the previous class. Like we create for the specific class, and we can have any kind of restrictions that we want to. I want to select the employee whose first name equals Venkat and salary is greater than 40,000. I add those restrictions, and this is how the criteria works. Did you attend the previous class on Friday?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay.
But I didn't get this project. I didn't get that mail.
Folks, everyone, I haven't sent the Hibernate project yet. Today, after the class, it has the mapping, whatever we are discussing. I'll send you the Hibernate project now. I haven't sent it to anyone. Hibernate project.
Okay.
Neha, what code we are having in employee.java?
Employee.java is an object which we are mapping to the employee table. So
you're having constructors and this text. That's it.
Yeah, the variables, the fields which we are mapping to the database table, and we have the constructor. If you have one more constructor, it's just like the variables you have with getters and setters. Venkat, any doubts?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, folks, everyone, do you have any doubts in the one-to-many mapping that we have seen here? And do you understand why do we have one-to-many? Because an employee can have multiple appointments. So the employee to appointment is one-to-many. And you understand the cascade and lazy, right?
So Neha, when normally databases are already set up, they have the primary keys and all that set up. So we are actually redoing that in Hibernate, right?
See, it's not redoing. We are mapping it, right? So how do you get this kind of a data when you are using JDBC? Lydia, could you tell me? You have an employee. You want to set appointment for the employee. So how are you going to do that using JDBC?
You give the query, the complete query assigned to the
Yes, you have to set employee, and for each employee you have to do one more query saying go to the appointment and fetch and again put it, right? So instead, when we map this, we get them directly. The Hibernate populates the associations directly. You understand?
Yeah, but you can directly give the query, right? You don't have to give two different queries. You can connect that
we don't do that. Like if each employee has many, how does the association? How does JDBC directly map the association? Each employee is having a collection of sets. How does JDBC map the association?
Can we not have a join?
We can have the join, but we get it as a result set, a flat data.
Yeah,
right? We don't get the association, right?
So what do you mean by association?
One having many or one having one. What is an association? What are the associations that we are discussing? What is an association, Lydia?
I'm asking you. I didn't follow that.
I have been discussing it in the past. In the last class, we have discussed the associations, and now for the past 30 minutes, we are discussing one-to-many association, right? What do you understand from it?
Yeah, I know. Each one table has many records in the other table.
It's a relation that is between two different entities, right?
Right.
Nothing is nothing but it's a relation between two different entities. That's what we are telling the relationship to
I get that. I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to see that, if the database is already set up with primary key, foreign key on the database side, again in Hibernate, you're again setting up the same thing. You're saying this is the primary key and this is the
How
association.
do Hibernate understand this? How do Hibernate do the Java mapping? Right? How does Hibernate does the connection between tables and Java? We have to map it. That is what we are doing it here.
You're mapping that with the variables that are in the program. So these are like host variables then?
These are
the variables that we have.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2KInfosys.com. On our website H2KInfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.